Hello, and thank you for signing the recall petition that was online that looks like this right here. Because you've done that, you are now receiving an email from me, which looks something like this, which is explaining what you can do to volunteer for this campaign and raise awareness in your community so that we collectively, as the people of Nevada, can exercise our constitutional rights, Article 2, Section 9, to recall the governor of the state of Nevada. It requires 245,000 eligible Nevadans, and we can do it. And all it takes is a little effort from you to contact your neighbors. So since you filled out this information and I have access to the Nevada Secretary of State voter files, I am able to download information and filter it so that it's catered to you. It's specific to where you live so that you can contact your neighbors. And everyone who fills this out can do the same, contact their neighbors. So there are two files that are attached in your email. One is a number sign, AD, a number, which is your assembly district, P, and then another string of numbers, which is your precinct code, the code of your precinct. And a precinct is a neighborhood block, so the people who live all around you. And let's look at that really quick. So it looks like a spreadsheet view. This PDF document is a spreadsheet view of all of your neighbors who are eligible to recall Sisolak. So they voted in the 2018 election, which makes them eligible. They are not Democrat, so you're not talking to people who are going to be hostile, although the nonpartisans would be next in line. Just to note, nonpartisans may lean left, but the other parties likely won't. And so it has their phone number so that you can call them, and it has their residential address so you know where they live, which should be on your street or one of the neighboring streets around you. And you should know essentially where they all are. And so this is really helpful for you because it helps you get to know your neighbors. It allows you to access publicly accessible documents that I've catered to you so that you get to know your neighbors. And the goal here, if you wish to volunteer, it's decentralized, it's grassroots. This is you on your own time, whenever you want, however you want to do this. But our first round right now is going to be focused on making phone calls because it's easy, it's cheap, and it's effective. And so I've filtered this list down: eligible voters, non-Democrats, all who have a publicly listed phone number listed with the Secretary of State, and so then and that's it. So however many people, like however long this list is, it is everyone who lives in your precinct, and they all have the phone number to make a phone call. So let's go back to the email. That is the attachment listed here. That'll open that document. Now, the next thing to do is click this, open this petition form. It's a hyperlink. And so you can click that link and it'll open this form here, which you filled out yourself. So the goal here, if you wish to volunteer, is to have both of these side by side. You can print out the PDF, but you should have the form here online. And then what you do is you make phone calls to your neighbors and you ask them if they would like to recall Sisolak. You tell them who you are. My name is John Cardiff Gerhardt, and I live in the neighborhood. I was wondering if you are interested in recalling Governor Sisolak, because we can get rid of him if we exercise our constitutional rights. And if they are interested in recalling Sisolak, then ask for their email, because as you can see, this petition in its current form, the latest update to the form layout, is now name, email, phone number, and address. And as you can see in the PDF over here, we have name, we have phone number, and we have address. So the only thing that's missing is an email. And so the way you would do this is you give them a call, you ask if they're interested. If they are interested in recalling Sisolak, you ask them for their email. It's the most important missing piece of information that you have in front of you. So if they give you their email, type it in, and then thank them, hang up the phone, and then using the PDF information, fill in the rest of their information and submit the form. And by doing this, that information then goes to my database, and that allows me to look up that information, make sure that they're eligible, and send them a similar email so that they could also join you in volunteering if they wish. And then they will see this video, and this is how the campaign grows. This is how the pre-production, the preparation gets put in place, right? This is all about raising awareness. This is not an official petition that we take to the Secretary of State. But if we ever did that, we would probably fail unless we're all ready to go. And that's what this does. This process of you calling your neighbors grows our list to the point where we become 100% confident we can recall the governor of Nevada. And we don't go to the Secretary of State with an empty petition document until we have that list filled with 245,000 eligible Nevadans who have basically been made aware that we're going to recall Governor Sisolak, and we have their information, we have their phone number, we have their email, we have their name, we have their address, and we know how to reach everyone. Because here's the very important part, and here's why Fight for Nevada, which was the primary recall campaign, that it's why they failed. And so before I go into that, let's go back to this email, and we see the second attachment, the Recall Sisolak PDF is the second attachment in the email. And so if we open that one up, it looks like this. Recall Sisolak on May 15th, 2020. Fight for Nevada failed. There are 33,105 out of 244,000 signatures have expired. They're trash. They're worthless. It's just pieces of paper that don't count anymore. So now what? We go again. And it's not we as in Fight for Nevada, because we are not part of Fight for Nevada. I am not part of Fight for Nevada. I am working a different campaign outside of Fight for Nevada because I honestly think they are designed to shoot themselves in the foot. I don't think that they have, it's either they don't have the experience, they don't have the comprehension of how to successfully succeed, or they are intentionally designed to fail so that we, always go to them. They are the major source of recalling. They're the ones that have places out and about when they were running their campaign, at least. But they failed. And I don't think that they have what it takes to succeed. And I do. And that's why I'm running this. That's why, you're seeing this video, and that's why we are where we are. So this Recall Sisolak PDF explains they failed. We go again. New management is me. I'm running for Assembly District 12 as a nonpartisan or an independent candidate. And I'm tech literate. I'm a millennial running this campaign like a Matrix Vendetta, right? Like the Matrix, V for Vendetta, like exercising our rights to finally return power to the people in our government. And the new process is an online petition first. That's this right here. And then the petitioners, that's you, receive resources like this and this to volunteer by contacting their eligible neighbors. Which is what this whole video is about. Contacting your eligible neighbors and sending in an online petition on their behalf. Okay. Once every neighborhood will be reached, and then we publicize our data. You can always go to votecardiff.org/Sisolak to see the progress. And then we talk to our government last. We physically sign the official petition. When I go to the Secretary of State, I get the empty petition filed, and then we've got this document or the paper that's verified by the government that the people need to physically sign with ink. And that is the mad rush dash, right? That's where we're going to need super volunteers. Because right now you're volunteering to make phone calls. And then we're going to need super volunteers, the ones who grab that paper and drive to their neighbors' houses to get that physically inked signature. Or they sit outside the shopping centers or the intersections or wherever it is for the people to go physically sign that signature. And I'll get to that in a minute. So We physically sign the official petition at the end when 243,999 Nevadans are 100% ready to go. We don't go to the Secretary of State until we're all ready to go. And that's what this is all about. So the back side of this page, if you print it double-sided, and before I go any further, please print this double-sided and in color and hand it out to neighbors. Keep it in your car. Keep it at your work. Keep it at home. And just share copies with people so that you can raise awareness in your local community. So here's how round 2, which is what I'm calling this campaign, round 2 works. So if they get this paper and if they're not on the phone call, because if they do the phone, if you're doing phone calls, you can basically open this petition from your computer and fill it out on their behalf. But if you're giving the people, your neighbors, this document shows them how they can also access this this petition form online on their own. And that is either this QR code. So if you're not familiar with QR codes, you can open your camera. You can scan the QR code, and then it shows up as a link in which you can tap on your phone. And then it asks you if you want to open your web browser, and it takes you to the web page that has this form. So that's how it works on mobile. And then they go to this form, or they can go to the website, votecardiff.org, and then they have to click that image right there that's highlighted in red, and then it takes them to the same form on their computer. So then step number 2, they open that form, they enter the info, and they send it. Step number 3, when the email arrives, which is what you just opened to watch this video, download and print the PDFs, documents. Step 4, get the family involved, contact your neighbors, ask them, are you interested in recalling Governor Sisolak? Step 5, we will reach 244,000 eligible Nevadans. Eventually, it's got to happen. And the more you volunteer, the more stronger your community will be. And then if you fill out that list and your whole community is totally aware, your whole precinct is contacted, and everyone who's going to sign is signed, there's other steps to broaden that. Either, another precinct, right over, an adjacent neighborhood, or we expand it to be those who you need to knock on doors. It'll be your preference, and we can get there later. That's for a later sweep or a later stage. But this is the first, and it's the easiest. So this is where we're at. So step 5, when we reach it, an announcement will be made asking you how you would like to sign. And that's where we get to the super volunteers. A volunteer either comes to your house or you visit a public location nearby. That's after we get the 245,000 eligible Nevadans. We make an announcement to you and everyone else who signed up online, and then we, based on your response, your response to this question, do you want someone to come to your house, or do you want to meet someone at the, for example, the Costco or the Albertsons, the Walmart, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, whatever it is. Then step number 6, we authenticate the blank petition document with the Secretary of State. So then we've got 90 days. After we know what everyone wants, where we need to go to get these signatures, we're all prepped, we're all ready to go, and everyone is informed. Enough people to actually make this successful is on board with this. And so then we go to the Secretary of State. Then we get that blank petition document verified. Then we've got 90 days, and then we make the mad dash rush to get these signatures, because 245,000 is a lot of signatures. Okay, so then we get those inked signatures on the formal petition. We've got 90 days to get 245, but we know who they all are. We don't have to find new people. We don't have to pray that someone comes in and writes their name down, and also pray that they're eligible to actually count in that petition. We know who all the people are. They've already agreed. And so then we go to their house. They come to the public location. The physical ink signature gets done. And then we present all those documents to the Secretary of State. And just a side note, we will live stream that, like how Pelosi walked down the aisle to impeach Trump. We'll do something similar. We've got all the petition documents. It's going to be a stack this big of papers, and we're going to be walking down to the Secretary of State. We're going to present all those documents of the inked signed petitions, and it's going to be big. It's going to be really a big moment, and I believe it'll happen soon. Especially if Sisolak shuts down the economy again, thinking that they're going to help in their effort to, make sure Trump is not elected. It's like it's going to be the nail in his coffin, and I think it's coming, and I think it's coming soon. So then the Secretary of State will spend 30 days verifying the petitions are valid, authentic, eligible, and then when they confirm that we have the minimum requirement to recall the governor, then it will be announced. He will be recalled, and the treasurer will finance a special election. So we can vote for a new governor. And so if you want to learn more, like I said before, Article 2, Section 9 of our state constitution, and there's also the Secretary of State's recall guide. And if you look at this online, you can see that these are all hyperlinked. You see the cursor here, move it around, but the votecardiff.org website is hyperlinked. So if you see this online, you open the document, you click it, you'll actually go to the websites. The facebook.com group is hyperlinked. The Article 2, Section 9 is hyperlinked. And so is the recall guide. They're all hyperlinked, so you can actually go and learn more if you wish to follow up on and just read more about how all this stuff works and what's going on with it. And with that being said, you should have everything you need now. So please, whenever you can, open this document, make the phone calls, print that paper out, cross out the names, enter in their information, get their email, meet your neighbors, and help grow the awareness in your community. Call your neighbors and send in this online petition on their behalf to make it really easy, to make this process go really quick, so we can make sure that we recall the governor. It's all we need. This is the foolproof plan. If we can get one person like you in every precinct, in every neighborhood across Nevada, we will recall the governor. We will raise the awareness, and we will generate enough awareness in order to recall the governor. And we can do it. And it's not so big that we can't do it, but it does require all of us to do a little bit, to do our part. And your part, as I talk to you through this camera, as you watch it through the screen, is to pick up your phone, get that petition website on your computer, and print out this PDF or have them side by side like you see on the screen, and just make your phone calls. Submit the forms, and together we will come together over the recalling of this tyrant. And it will work. It really will. And it already is working. This process took a long time for me to put into place. Took a lot of work, a lot of prep work, but now it's all ready to go. Everything is now in place, and all that we need to do, all that's left, is for you to make phone calls, to contact your neighbors, and submit the form on their behalf. It's the easiest way to do it. If you leave it to them to do it, they may, not check their email, they may not follow up, they may forget, but all you got to do is ask for their email, and they got to tell it to you, and you're already prepped and ready to go with this form on your computer. So if you are willing to do a little bit every day or every week, every weekend, delegate some work. Let's say, if you have a big family in your house, you can print this out and you can divide the papers the pages, so husband does one page, wife does another page, son number 1 does the 3rd page, and daughter, number 2 does the 4th page. Residents, you can even have neighbors come together and split up the pages amongst themselves. So you're all working together. Whatever you can do, bring your community together, please. Be the leader of your community. You have all the resources you need. And so with that being said, good luck and farewell. Again, my name is John Cardiff Gerhardt, and I'm running as a nonpartisan for Assembly District 12. That's East Las Vegas and East Henderson. And I am not controlled by the deep state. I am not friends with Sisolak, and I have every intention of making sure that this recall campaign succeeds. Thank you. Have a great day.